Hey guys, it's Laptop Laura, and this is Copy That Pops. Writing tips and psychology hacks applied to online biz success.
Here we go.
Welcome to Copy That Pops. I've gotten feedback from some listeners of the show that they'd love a book-only focused podcast. So I have the idea to make a Book That Pops podcast just about writing, self-publishing, launching, and leveraging best-selling books. It's what I teach in my best-selling book, Accelerator, and I love the idea of sharing some of the lessons I've learned from all my book publishing for myself and with clients in podcast form. Would you listen? Let me know. And if you can't bear to wait until I can produce another podcast, and being now pregnant, I may not get to it as fast as I'd like, I can share a new resource for you that is free if you want help with books. Head over to copythatpops.com/free. And it's a new free training, which includes a workshop that I call Book Profit Blueprint. So it really breaks everything down for how a book fits into helping you grow your brand and business and drive more sales of not only books, but products and services in your business. And we talk about 3 different secrets that you can apply to the different stages of the process. So one is in how to write, even if you don't feel like you're a great writer. One is about how to hit bestseller. And another is how to get thousands of dollars in free media attention. And then also at that copythatpops.com/free location, you'll also get free email training material sent to you spread out over a few weeks to share more insights. So this is something new that I've just created, and a great book writing checklist, all free in exchange for your email, which you can also unsubscribe at any time. And for today's quick tip episode, I wanted to share with you my favorite writing platform specifically for books, but you could use it for other things. And it's called Scrivener. I'm actually shocked I've never done an episode on it yet because I do love it very much. And anytime I talk with anyone about books, I tell them about it. And it's spelled Scrivener, Scrivener. I'll give you some short links to go over and check it out next. But I wanted to let you know that it's made specifically for book writers, both fiction and nonfiction. It's $45 just one time to buy it. So it's not like a monthly recurring thing. And you can actually get a discount if you happen to be a teacher or a student. So you can go and grab it. I'm going to give you 2 different links. These are affiliate links, so feel free to Google search Scrivener and go and locate it if you don't want to use the affiliate links. Copythatpops.com/SMAC. So S and then MAC is where you'll go if you have a Mac to grab the Scrivener program. So just copythatpops.com/S and then Mac. And as you might guess from that URL, if you have a PC, then go to copythatpops.com/SPC. And the S is standing for Scrivener, but I thought it'd be easier not to spell out Scrivener in the URL because it's kind of a weird word. Now, before I share some of my favorite things about it and why I endorse it so much, I do want to tell you that if you use a PC, the program is not as robust as it is for Mac users. So what I found with many of my Accelerator clients is they can't exactly do what I show them in the training videos or when we get onto live calls where I'm helping people and screen share and things. They can't exactly do what I show them is possible, or things are hidden in different areas. So as a warning, if you have a PC and you're happy with programs like Word, like Microsoft Word, then just consider sticking with what you know. With Scrivener, there is a bit of a learning curve, as with any program, but I have found it more than worth it if you use a Mac and you feel like maybe you have more than one book project in you, as I do, and I have. I also hate Microsoft Word. So yeah, a little bit of background on how I discovered Scrivener, and I'm going to give you some benefits about it. So I wrote my first book in Google Docs, actually, because I hate Word, like I said, and I don't even have any of the Microsoft Suite products on my Mac at all. And I love with Google Docs or Google Drive in general, how you can share documents, and you could even share it with like an editor or a nerdy friend who's helping you edit it for free so that you can both always be looking at the most current up-to-date file. However, once I went to export my book for Kindle, it looked horrible. Google Docs just isn't robust enough for getting it to look right on Kindle ebook formatting. So my first book is Copywriting for Podcasters. That's the book that I experimented with using the Google Docs. And it just really sucked. So what I ended up doing is I copied and pasted the entire thing into a free trial of Word, reformatted it, and exported it. This time, Word gave me more functionality than Google Docs did, but the copying and pasting over added more hidden code that messed with things, and I couldn't get the page numbers to work for the life of me. It ended up just being kind of a nightmare. And I was on a time crunch because I wrote and published it in just 30 days. So I found a woman who was willing to help me with Word for free. I don't even remember how we met, but I think probably in a Facebook group or something. And so she was willing to help me for free to help fix the formatting and make it look great inside of Word. She was so kind and generous. However, her mother fell ill in another country and she had to go visit her right when she was helping me, right on the deadlines of when I needed it. And since she was helping me for free, I could hardly push her. She kept reassuring me that it would be done in time. And so I just said, okay, let me just run with it. And if you know the crazy story of my first book in full detail, you know that I didn't get the final file uploaded in time with Amazon's deadlines with pre-order. I thought at the time mistakenly that I could just push back the release date one day and be fine, but it ended up not being the case and I got completely locked out. I couldn't upload my final file and the old, horrible, super rough from weeks ago, essentially wrong file went out to everybody who had bought my book during my bestseller launch and after it, because I kind of did like a 2-week buffer with pre-order that I had more time to upload the file. And that was about 100 people or so, I believe, maybe a little bit over 100 people. And I actually have some really bad reviews on my first book. And I think it's from people who got the horrible draft by mistake, but didn't know me personally. I jumped on a Facebook Live as soon as I realized the error and the impending doom, because tech support wasn't open on the weekends and it was going to be released when the clock struck midnight Eastern time on Sunday evening going into Monday. So there was no hope for me left once I figured it out. But of course, some people didn't see my Facebook Live where I explained the situation and apologized and told them that I was trying to fix it. So anyway, it was a great lesson learned, and I cannot blame the nice lady who was helping me. I was too cheap and nervous at the time to go and find a new editor for help. But long story short, I still have my first book written and formatted in Word, and I loathe editing it because anything I do seems to throw off the formatting somehow and mess it up again. So I have sworn I will never use Word again, and I haven't. Enter Scrivener. For my second book, I used Scrivener and I love it. I've now also used it for editing and ghostwriting with private clients. It's been beyond worth the $45 one-time payment. It's a program designed specifically for book writing, and it may be hard to describe how it's different from other things like Word, but if you imagine in Word, you would write your entire book in one long thread. It's like one long document. And if you want to go from chapter 1 all the way down to chapter 13, you have to scroll through everything. But in Scrivener, you have a side menu with folders and you can make subfolders and subsections of text for really easy planning, writing, and navigating of your book's materials. And then when you export it, it all looks right as it should. To me, creating a book is easier and more intuitive inside of Scrivener than it is inside of Word. And exporting it for Kindle and print is also pretty easy once you get the hang of things and what area you have to go to format different things, which does require some trial and error and searching for some how-to videos. I definitely won't lie about that. But once you get the hang of it, I've really fallen in love with it. And now that I know its power, I will not leave it. All right, so some other little pros and cons. Let me think. One con of Scrivener, full disclosure, is that not a lot of editors that you might hire are familiar with using it. So like if you go to upwork.com, for example, and hire somebody to edit your book, then they may not have Scrivener or be familiar with using it to help you with the editing. So what I have done in the past, like with clients' books, is I'll export the book from Scrivener as a Word document, because you can do that, and then share it as a Word doc, or I'll then put it into Google Docs and I'll share the book's file with a junior editor on my team just to do another read through with fresh eyes. And I have them do the track changes that's possible in Word and Google Docs so that any change they make, I can see with like a little comment off to the side what they think should be changed. And then I'll go in and physically update the changes into Scrivener where the master file is afterwards. And I like this approach, although you might feel like, well, that's kind of redundant, but it's because I don't accept all the changes that other editors might make, often because of stylistic choices, or they aren't reading it quite right, or I just still think that the way I have it is better. I'm kind of a copy nerd, so maybe that's not a surprise for you. So if you like to oversee the edits being made and have the final decision on the master file, then that is an easy workaround using Scrivener, even if the editor is not familiar with it. Now, another little con is that their support material, at least right now, as I'm recording this in the spring of 2019, is not the absolute best in the entire world. But I personally love creating helpful how-tos inside my best-selling book Accelerator to support my clients. And I'm happy to make one and share it publicly if you ever get stuck with something. So if you get stuck with a big Scrivener question and I steered you toward it, then please send me an email or let me know somehow what you're getting stuck on. And if I've got a video on how to fix that, I will send it your way, or I'll create one and share it publicly on YouTube and send you the link and include it in the Accelerator too. So it's totally a win-win. I don't mind. Despite the fact that there is a learning curve and the absolute best of support materials aren't really out there, I still think that Scrivener is worth it for people like me. So if you're someone who wants to write more than one book, you use a Mac, and you don't love Microsoft Word, then I would for sure encourage you to check out Scrivener. It's $45 one time to buy it, and you get a discount if you're a teacher or a student. You can go to copythatpops.com/SMac. If you have a Mac, and if you do want to try despite having a PC, you can go to copythatpops.com/SPC. Totally worth it. And I hope that this has been a helpful tip, especially if you're someone who's just been kind of struggling with where exactly should I outline and write my book. And then as the final reminder, head over to copythatpops.com/free for my new free training offer. So it's a 1-hour workshop called the Book Profit Blueprint, some email training materials that are brand new spread out over several days and weeks to give you more insights on all the steps when it comes to book writing, and also a great book writing checklist. And I hope you're having an incredible week. I will talk to you again soon when we'll find more ways together to write copy and a book that pops. Oh, one last thing before you go. I wanted to send a big congratulations to Nadine Blase Psareas, who is now a #1 best-selling author with her book, Hope Dealers, The Calling, the Struggles, the Breakthroughs, and the Community of Believers. She went live with her book and hit #1 bestseller in 11 different categories in the United States, hit #1 new release in 14 different categories, and then also hit #1 bestseller in 2 different categories in Mexico. So she officially hit #1 in multiple countries, and I'm so proud of her. If you want to check out her book, go to copythatpops.com/Nadine. And if you want to be a best-selling author like Nadine, then I hope that I can help you when you're ready. Have a great rest of your week. Thanks so much for listening. Let's keep the conversation going. You can find more at copythatpops.com, and I'm at Laptop Laura on all the socials.
Sometimes we find the greatest things in life when we don't try.